What's up, guys? Welcome back to News Dump. Oh man, I was gonna do without farting this week, but you did it anyway.
Oh well. This news dump is all about all the ways that Hollywood is taking successful ideas from the past and rehashing them into something new so that they can make loads of money without taking any risk.
Yeah, sometimes they make perfect sense. But a lot of the ones we heard about this week sounded like April Fool's jokes that landed a day earlier, a day late.
But they're all real.
Yep.
So let's start off with Disney. They've pretty much been on a tear these last few years trying to make live-action remakes of basically every animated property that they own. They've got the already released movies like Alice in Wonderland, Maleficent, and most recently Cinderella, making loads of money in theaters.
Yeah, tons of money.
And then they've got other titles like The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, and Dumbo in various stages of production already.
Yeah, but that's not all. The latest live-action Disney project added to the slate is Winnie the Pooh?
Yep, it's Winnie the Pooh, the classic story of a young boy whose only friends are a bear, a pig, a rabbit, a tiger, and a donkey.
The ending is going to be cutting to him in a psychiatrist's office laying on a couch like, yeah, that's pretty much what I live through every day.
I mean, I guess they're just cute imaginary versions of those animals. They're just his stuffed toys that he has imaginary adventures with in an imaginary forest, but still, that's something that's a lot easier to portray in an animated kids movie than it is in a live action movie, which this is supposedly going to be.
Are they going to be wacky anthropomorphic animals like the ones in Alice in Wonderland, or realistic like the mice in Cinderella?
Probably more like the Alice in Wonderland. But, I mean, goddamn, would it be hilarious to see a movie about a little boy hanging out with an actual brown bear wearing a big red t-shirt?
The bear gets its head stuck in a tree.
Oh! Silly old me.
A real tiger just bouncing around on its tail like a maniac. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It'll probably be CGI all the way, which is funny because these, quote, live-action Disney remakes are still 90% animated aside from the actors.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Christopher Robin in a giant green screen room hanging out with a bunch of dudes in motion capture suits.
Yeah.
Live action, we did it.
Yeah. Anyways, the basic plot of the movie is that Christopher Robin is all grown up, but somehow gets summoned back to the 100-acre woods to hang out with his imaginary friends from childhood. A clumsy bear with a crippling addiction to honey, a suicidal donkey, a tiger on ecstasy, a rabbit with a stick up its ass, and the other ones I can't really think of.
There's like an owl that's wise.
Yeah, wise owl.
Piglet's kind of just like a smaller...
He's a little beta male.
Yeah, he's very beta. But anyway.
He's beta to Pooh's alpha.
But that's not the only Disney animated property that they announced they'd be adapting to live action this week. There's also gonna be a live action Mulan, which is actually a lot easier to picture.
Yeah, that could happen. Aside from Mushu the dragon played by Eddie Murphy, the original animated movie was about human beings and pretty grounded in reality.
Yeah, its source material was actually a Chinese poem from the 6th century, and it's basically just about a girl pretending to be a dude so that she can take her elderly dad's place in a war.
So it's a rehash of a 6th century poem?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Well, a lot of Disney films are just rehashes of fables anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's pretty straightforward compared to a lot of the other Disney stuff, but who knows? They'll probably throw in a bunch of CGI magical bullshit just because that's what they do.
Hopefully not, though. I mean, Mulan's a pretty top-notch Disney animated movie. It still holds up really well, and the story doesn't need any of that shit. Just show me Chinese warfare.
Yeah, that's all we want to see.
And songs.
But while Disney rehashing its old animated properties into live-action films at least makes sense, this next story sounds like something straight out of The Onion. Fox is eyeing Bridesmaids director Paul Feig to direct a movie based on one of the most successful children's toy franchises of all time. Can you guess it?
They can't, because it's Play-Doh.
Yep, Play-Doh, that weird-smelling, non-toxic colored clay for little kids to mold shit out of. That's getting a movie.
Yeah, Hasbro is leaving literally no stone unturned in its quest to turn every kid's toy it makes into a multi-million-dollar blockbuster film.
Yeah, news sites like Deadline are quick to point out that the Lego movie sounded like kind of a dumb idea before people knew anything about it, but that comparison is kind of stupid. At least Legos have characters and vehicle sets that are a foundation for the storytelling. Play-Doh is literally just amorphous colored dough.
Yeah, but I mean, with a guy like Paul Feig possibly taking the helm, I mean, I'm open to the possibility that it doesn't suck. I just have literally no idea what it could be about.
These all seem like April Fool's jokes.
And they're saying it's live action, so it's not going to be animated.
None of this is live action. Just because you have one human in the movie, it's not, whatever, I don't know. On to the next rehash, which is at least, has a basic premise.
Yeah, get out the Capri Sun, 90s kids, because Full House is coming back.
No!
20 years after it went off the air.
No!
Probably.
This is gonna deal with Stephanie Tanner's meth addiction.
Yeah.
Good. If you remember the premise of Full House about a single dad with 3 daughters living in a house with his brother-in-law and his best friend, you're probably wondering why the house would be so full after all this time.
Well, you have no answers from us or from anyone except that this new series called Fuller House will focus on the characters DJ and Kimmy, who are both now in their late 30s.
We're gonna take a wild guess and hypothesize that the show is probably about the two of them being single moms with a bunch of kids who move in together. Because the first one was about Danny Tanner, his wife died, so he got his friends to help raise the kid.
Filled that house.
And so hopefully DJ Tanner's husband dies. Hopefully.
Yeah. Our husbands are dead.
What are we gonna do?
At least that house we lived in as kids is back on the market.
Yeah. Anyways, original cast members John Stamos, Bob Saget, and Dave Coulier are being eyed to come back on guest star. But we're gonna take another wild guess and say that you probably won't see the Olsen twins anywhere near this.
Because why would...
They're billionaires by this point, right? They got their clothing company.
One of them is straight up retired from acting. The other one is extremely selective. And they're fucking millionaires, and they played one character as babies. There's no reason for two
They'll
of
get
them.
Elizabeth Olsen in. Anyways, where will you be able to see this thing? Obviously, it's coming to Netflix.
Duh.
Ugh. I'm sure they've run the numbers and come to a scientific conclusion that this is something that enough people would want to watch, even out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah, but hey, speaking of Netflix, not everything being brought back to life sounds crazy or stupid, because that Mr. Show reunion that David Cross and Bob Odenkirk have been teasing these last few months has found its home on the big red streaming service.
Yeah, except they can't really call it Mr. Show with Bob and David because HBO owns the rights to that, the original series that ran from 95 to 98, and that series spawned the careers of loads of today's most successful comedians.
Yeah, so instead, it will just be called With Bob and David.
Clever.
And also, probably for the same reasons, the show won't be going back to any of the characters and sketches from Mr. Show and will instead feature all new characters, all new scenes, and most importantly, all new wigs, according to Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah. There will be just 4 half-hour episodes and 1 hour-long behind-the-scenes documentary, but God willing, if enough people watch it, Netflix can be a place where Odenkirk and Cross can drop Mr. Show-style episodes and specials whenever they find time in their busy schedules.
Yeah, I mean, they made a book a couple years back with all their unused Mr. Show stuff, and they did an audiobook about it. Like, they're both into working together, and so if Netflix is just like, hey, whenever you got the time, give us like an episode here,
David
an episode
Cross
there.
just released a movie. Bob Odenkirk's on Better Call Saul right now. They're very busy, but hopefully we can get a lot out of them. But like we said, throwbacks and rehashes aren't all inherently bad. People have been wanting some sort of Mr. Show reunion ever since the show ended and everyone involved went on to be super successful in comedy. And it's hard to imagine any way that these guys are gonna fuck this up.
Yeah, no, both those guys have very high standards, so I think it's gonna be good. But anyway, speaking of throwbacks though, a French visual artist who goes by the name Gollum13 decided to celebrate April Fool's Day by mocking up a bunch of really convincing 80s style VHS boxes for a bunch of modern big budget movies and shows.
Now that's the kind of prank I like.
Yeah.
These are rad as hell and look exactly like they would have if they came out back then. There's Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Gravity, Dexter, Interstellar, The Wolf of Wall Street, and The Guardians of the Galaxy.
I really hope he decides to put up like full res printable files for these so that we can print them out and stick them inside of a VHS cover. I would totally make that some office decoration. It looks really cool, though we'd probably have to go down to the dump and dig real deep to find an actual VHS case to slip it into.
That's true. Speaking of new stuff going all retro, the major Lazer cartoon series is finally coming to FXX on April 16th, and it looks about as 80s as you can get.
Yeah, they released the show's opening visuals, and the style is like spot on accurate to how the superhero shows that we watched in the 80s and 90s look. It's got bright colors, the character intros with their names all in different fonts and shit. Ninjas, mohawks, shoulder pads, creepy vampire villains, and of course a rocket-powered flying surfboard.
Yeah, it'll also have some top-notch voice talent behind it like J.K. Simmons, Aziz Ansari, and Andy Samberg, as well as some more surprising voices like Riff Raff, Vampire Weekend's Ezra Koenig, and Charlie XCX.
Yeah, so that's it for our retro-tastic, rehash-horrific news dump, but before we go, there's a video that you just have to see because it is amazing.
Yep. So, for whatever reason, this little boy here is a huge Nicki Minaj fan, and he's losing his damn mind meeting her, getting all emotional and crying and telling me he's been waiting for this moment for so long.
Nicki tries to comfort him by giving him a hug, and that's when we see the real reason this little boy is so into Nicki Minaj. Well played, kid. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Nicki posted the video to her Instagram account with the message, "Get your life from the little boy in this video, please. Look at how he stopped crying when he laid his head on them things. They have real power beaming out of them that can cure the sick." She's basically like female Jesus now.
Yeah, I mean, the kid instantly, his mood changed.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, we have a last week's podcast with Danny Trejo. We make fun of Jay-Z's new bullshit streaming platform that Nicki Minaj is actually involved in called Tidal. And we have a new episode of the Totally Uninformed Gaming Show, which is edited like a complete moron did it because we got drunk last night. Anyways, we have another podcast coming out tomorrow that we're both really excited for. Tell them about it.
Yeah, we got Micah Monroe, who, if you've seen It Follows or The Guest, she's the star of those new movies, and she's great.
And she was a lot of fun to sit and talk with, so look forward to that tomorrow.
All right.
Have a good Easter. I think it's Easter on Sunday.
Tomorrow's
right?
Easter.
I lost track of all the holidays when I
Yesterday
turned
was
30.
Good Friday. Today's Holy Saturday. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday, and then in 40 days is the Ascension, and then on December 24th is Christmas Eve, and then on December 25th is Christmas, and then 40 days before Easter it's Ash Wednesday.
Really eating up the watch time on this video, huh? All right, bye guys.